So I hope you're all okay with me doing this. And now I'm going to share my screen. There we go. And we're going to put it into presentation mode. And here we are. So welcome. Welcome to the Healing Hub, everybody. This is the Healing Hub information session. Oh, we've got another person who's just jumping on. I come home to calm. I come home to calm. So what does this all mean? I'm so grateful for you all to be here. No doubt you are all here. So for your support, but also to hear all the wonderful things that I have been up to over the last couple of years, and also to hear about what all this Healing Hub is all about. What is the fuss about coming home to calm, and what does that look like, and what does that feel like? So for those of you who I haven't met, my name is Sheb, and I'll be telling you a little bit about myself in a moment more. I just want to welcome you all again for being here. Thank you so much. I want to first, for honoring yourself to be here and learning about what this is all about, but also for showing up. I want to invite you to set an intention, whatever that intention might be. And it might be an intention to learn something new, or it might be an intention to find a new way of being, whatever that looks like, whatever that feels like. Or it might be finding some strategies, some coping strategies on finding what that calmness looks like, and how that feels and how that looks like in the everyday life. So welcome once again. And I just want to do a short little exercise, because it's quite pivotal that we understand what this is moving forward. It's going to pretty much create the baseline of what we're going to be talking about as I go through. So before we go on, I want you to, first of all, if you are sitting, if you are in a seated position and you are safe, I want you to, if you're not driving, do not do this, but if you are in a safe space, I want you to just simply hold your hands out, both hands out in front of you. And as you do this, I want you to take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in, I want you to bring that focused attention to your hands, both of your hands. And as you do this, just notice what you're noticing. You may be noticing the sense of energy vibrating along your hands. You may be noticing maybe nothing. But I just want you to observe and just be present, because I want you to really be present throughout this presentation, throughout my talk with you today. And while you're here, feeling and observing your hands, I want you to now clap your hands together and rub them as rapidly, as fast as you can. And do this for a couple of seconds. And once you've done this, I want you to now lay them out again in front of you. And now notice what you're noticing. And what are you feeling? You may be feeling energy. You may be sensing some force that you haven't recognized before, or maybe you have recognized before, whatever that might be. We are, by doing this short little exercise, we're activating the energy that we emit through our hands. And that energy can be used for healing. Wherever it might be some pain along the body, it may be just to help you feel regenerated. It might be a way to bring calm into the body. This is a really great exercise and tool that I use if I feel like I'm being overwhelmed or overstimulated. I just rub my hands together, I draw in all the energy, and I just allow that energy, and I filter through that to my body from the top of my head all the way down, and it immediately brings a sense of calmness to the body. So this is a very quick tool that I wanted to share with you, that in the event you are needing that rapid calmness, this is a great way to just bring that sense. And it's free, and you can do that at any place at any time. You simply using both of your hands, rubbing together, calling into that energy, and just allowing yourself to filter that beautiful energy that you have through wherever you might need it. So that's the power of our hands, our touch, our energy. I'm going to talk more about that in a moment, but to give you just a brief context of who I am and how I got here, it's going to sort of make a little bit more sense as to how I got to where I am today. So this is just a brief overview of just who I am, just to give you some context. Now, my healing arts journey actually started when I was an accountant. You see, I was working in an environment in a company called Metcash. I was working in the accounts department. This was going back over 20 years ago now. And I realized there were a lot of people under stress, under pressure. And I couldn't sense this. And so what I did was I invited them to sit down, and being an empath, sensing energy, I didn't know what it was at the time, I offered to massage their shoulder and their neck, and just placing my hands over their shoulders and just inviting a sense of calm. I had no idea what I was doing at the time. This was all intuitive. With consent, of course. Imagine doing that these days in the office. But at the time, they were all very much open to it. So I allowed my intuition do whatever it needed to do to bring a sense of calm. And then they said, you should do massage, you should study massage. I said, oh, not really, I'm not really into that. But it wasn't until my daughter was born in 2007 that I decided that number crunching wasn't my thing. In fact, I was not very good at it. So I decided to take on the advice of my colleagues, and I studied remedial massage. And for a number of years, I trained into that modality, and I practiced that modality, and I loved it, absolutely loved it. For me, there was no better way of seeing my clients walk away happy, smiling, sometimes even pain-free, whether that be physically, emotionally. But then I realized there was something more. I needed to add more value, to train my clients to think on a different level, not just on a soft tissue. And that's when I decided to do a degree in exercise sports science. And it was like bridging science and spirituality and connecting to the two. And it was just marvelous having to learn these modalities and how I was able to incorporate all these beautiful, beautiful modalities. However, something happened, something unexpected happened, in fact. In 2015, while I was running under the hormones of chronic stress, my body collapsed. It went into shock. I didn't know what it was. I totally ignored all the symptoms, all the signals. And long story short, when I went to the doctors, they said it was an autoimmune disease called hypothyroidism. In that 1 week, I lost 5 kilos. My resting heart rate was 150 beats a minute. Now, just for context, normal heart rate is between 60 and 100. Mine was at 150, 160. So it was rapid. So the medical professions at the time were thinking about having my thyroid removed and having me on medication for the rest of my life. And that was something I just didn't see myself doing. Not that there's anything wrong with pharmaceuticals, it just wasn't for me. And so I decided to take matters into my own hand. And again, I don't want to go into the whole story. However, in short, within 10 months after visiting the endocrinologist, implementing all these modalities that I've learned over the years, putting them into practice, within 10 months, the endocrinologist, after a blood test result, turned to me and said, negative. I said, what does that mean? She said, you no longer have the disease. So I can, with gratitude, announce that from that day onwards, from 2016 onwards, I've been disease and medication free. And what do I put that in? How do I well, the evidence for me was all the modalities that I put into place, from mindfulness, meditation, self-hypnosis, visualization, all the modalities that I do today to help my clients move forward. I implemented them on myself, and the outcome was amazing. So that got me on the path of self-healing and how I can help my clients on their journey. And then I wanted to learn more. I got qualifications in hypnotherapy and psychotherapy, so understanding the mind a little bit more and how the mind, body, and soul and spirit and all of that connect into one. And then, of course, I started to play around with crystal bowls, which is something I'm going to be demonstrating and sharing with you in a moment. And of course, when I started to play the bowls, well, say no more. If you haven't already had an experience with sound bowls, I'm going to be playing them for you in a moment, and they are just the most magical things that I've ever had the privilege and honor to play with. And of course, I'm a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, training in martial arts. It's the yin to my yang, the yang to my yin, all these beautiful modalities coming into one, or creating the person that I am that you see in your way today. So that's in a nutshell who I am. So I've been working on the whole healing space for a long time, and now I am more mindful and present with any symptoms that come across. If I feel overwhelmed, if I feel stress, I feel like I have the modalities now to be able to implement a quick strategy to reduce what I might be feeling or experiencing at the time. And now I feel like it's my duty, my calling to share that with people, with everyone who I come across to, because I don't know if you've noticed, but the world is currently chaotic. There's a lot of things going on. Part of my role, I do rehab consulting. I help injured workers get back to work. Now, some of these injured workers, they experience what's called secondary injury, which is secondary psych. Now, I would go into the doctor's rooms with them, and we would look at implementing some mental health plan. Would you believe the waiting time for a psychologist or a counsellor is 6 to 12 months? That's here on the Gold Coast. So it's frightening out there, the lack of support that people are unfortunately not getting at the time that they need it, which is part of the reason why I've created the Healing Hub. The Healing Hub is a way to bring a sense of community together where we can heal. Because let's face it, when we heal, then everybody heals. When I couldn't be any good for anybody else until I started to heal myself. And when I began to heal myself, then I was able to heal others. And that's what brings me to my experience from burnout to breakthrough. And I sincerely believe that it is a continuum of various, not only various modalities, but it is everything into one. So that means mind, body, spirit, and heart. It is I'm looking for a word and I just cannot think of it. At the moment I've just gone through a mind blank. But it's a holistic approach. Healing requires a holistic approach. We need to take into consideration not only the body, but also the mind. What are we feeding the body? Are we feeding nutritious food into the body, into the cells? Are the cells getting the nutrition that they deserve, that they require? And the mind, are we staying guard at the mind? Are we mindful at the thoughts that we are telling ourselves? Are we being mindful of all the words that we share to ourselves and others? And of course, the heart. In a moment, I'm going to share with you the power of the heart and what that looks like from a healing perspective. And of course, when we have these merging into oneness, of course, then our spirit is going to be aligned. And guess what, folks? When we have alignment, we're going to have healing. And when we have healing, we're just going to be shining and blossoming and vibrating at a level so high that no disease or illness is going to want to touch us or come anywhere near us, because we are shining and brightly, so ever so brightly from the inside out. And in a moment, I'm going to share a little bit more about what that vibration looks like, how that feels like on a physical and emotional level. The mystery of sound and vibration. This is the moment that really shifted for me when I was introduced to sound. Sound is just next level. It elevates, in my opinion, healing. Now, there has been numerous experts that believe that sound and vibration were used to help build world's giant pyramids and temples. This is me in the center. This was at Chichen Itza in 2016. Now, I was shown by my tour guide this clapping phenomenon. I don't know if you've been to Chichen Itza and if you had an opportunity to play with this, but it's this clapping phenomenon when we clap at the base of this pyramid, there is this echo that transports itself in to up into the top of the pyramid, and it's this ancient acoustic that creates the sound of a bird. It's so mystical. It's extremely crazy. Just how I was just like mind boggled when I first saw this, and I would highly, yeah, encourage you to go and visit Chichen Itza if you ever have a chance to go and visit. But it just goes to show that even the ancients knew something mystical about what sound is and what it does. And the more I research on this, the more I look into it, the more I read about it, the more I'm just like mind blown at just how amazing this beautiful thing that we have available to us, right? And I just can't wait to share what that looks like even more to the world and for you, beautiful people, in a moment. I love this quote by Albert Einstein. He said, "Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy, this is physics." I mean, this quote emphasizes that most fundamental level that everything in the universe is made up of energy, atoms, light, sound, thoughts, and quantum physics, they talk about this. They talk about the matter and energy, the interchangeable connection between thoughts and how everything vibrates at certain frequencies. So it's really, really important that we understand these fundamentals for better healing so that we can excel at our healing process. And let's face it, we are all vibrational beings, whether that be from our mood, our thoughts, every feeling that we emulate has a certain level of energy and certain level of frequency. Now, you're welcome to unmute yourself if you like, but I want to ask you, how many of you have noticed that when you step into a room and you look around and you feel either you just get an off feeling, an off look, or you don't feel the vibration. There's this like, how many of you're welcome to put into the chats, have you felt this? Have you sensed this, where you walk into a room and you know that something is off, that something is not quite right? Here I am asking you to put into the chats and I can't even see the chats. Yes, okay, got it now. Yes, absolutely, Goshev. Yes, right, definitely. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Shanae. Thank you, Fusen. Thank you, Catherine. So you get it, right? So that's the energy that we're feeling, that we're feeling something that's not quite right. Conversely, we might walk into a room and there is this delightful energy and this person is bursting with energy, and you just can't help but feed off that energy, right? How many of you have experienced that, where I like to think that I like to be one of those people, someone who brightens up someone's day, whether I see a stranger on the side of the road or walking past. I like to smile and think that I'm sending off a vibration of love, a vibration of kindness, and hoping that, yeah, exactly, and hoping that I'm helping change or shift their energy, right? It's energy can be contagious, by the way. So negative or positive, absolutely. Thank you, Fusen. Thank you. So It's a thing. It is a thing, my friends. It is a thing. And we need to be mindful of that energy, of that frequency, and notice what we're noticing when we're noticing it, so that we're guarding our energy and that we're not giving it away so freely to especially to people who don't deserve it. We don't want to do that. We want to keep our energy to people who really need it. Now, I wanted to really add this. This is amazing. This illustration from the Heart Math Institute. This is so fascinating. If you haven't been on the Heart Math Institute website, I highly recommend you jump on. Greg Braden does so many experiments with these guys. They have found so many benefits to the heart-brain coherence. What does that mean? Okay, so if you have a look at the top, this is the heart rate when someone is frustrated. So this is, look at the difference between the heart rate of frustration of someone who might be experiencing frustration versus someone who may be experiencing appreciation. So look at the difference there. In frustration, we have chaos. It's chaotic. It's everywhere. And it's no wonder when someone is frustrated, you can imagine where they're at. Their head's like everywhere. Everything is chaotic. These are the people who would often jam their fingers at the car door or lose their car keys or whatever. These are the people that often, sometimes energy, wherever attention goes, energy flows, right? So this is what we don't want to experience. Yes, in short term, we can be frustrated, absolutely. Anything long term is something we want to avoid. And of course, look at the appreciation, the heart rate variability of appreciation. You have coherence. I mean, how beautiful does that look? Everything is sync. All those waves are in sync, meaning the heart is in harmony. And when we're in harmony, guess what? We're going to have an abundance of health. The body is balanced, the mind is balanced, the heart is balanced, the spirit is happy, right? So this is what we want to aim for. I used to believe that if I wasn't stressed, that I wasn't being productive. That was my old belief, that I wasn't stressed, that if I wasn't running around, I wasn't proactive, and therefore I wasn't winning. How wrong was I, friends? I was totally wrong. I am now on the belief that harmony, balance is our actual state of being. This is the state that we should all be living in, a stress-free environment. Yes, sometimes we're going to experience stressful situations. Absolutely, that stress and frustration and all these emotions are quite valid. However, when it becomes at the point that it becomes harmful is when we allow it to prolong those emotions for as long as we can. We want to keep it short, acknowledge it, yes. If we can let it go, brilliant, let it go. If we can't, let's focus, let's work on how we can let it go. And that's fortunately what I do with my clients is I give them the coping mechanisms and the strategies to help them let that go, whatever that might be. So this is a really cool, I really love this this model when Heart Math Institute would really encourage you to jump on. Okay, so you might be asking me, why, Sheb? Why the Healing Hub? I mean, look at the statistics. The news, all you see is burnout more than ever. You know, this is what the data is showing now. Mental health and well-being is on the rise. There are just so many people experiencing so many mental health concerns. You know, with what happened a couple of years ago with COVID, you know, there's long COVID now, and all these diagnoses are coming forward from a generational of trauma of what happened, and these are still unfolding, still coming out now, and it's quite significant. I mean, look at that. 81% of the Australian workforce, you know, they are grappling with stress, you know, and burnout. And I was one of them. You know, I was one of them. I thought it was quite normal, actually. Turns out it's not. There's only so much the body can handle. So what they found actually, a study by Gen Z Australians in particular, Gen Z. So these are people who were born between 1997 and 2012. Don't quote me on that. I might be a year or two off. They found that this group, Gen Z, were the most impacted. 85% were experiencing burnout, largely due to social media pressures in the pursuit of wellness that was contributing to stress. I found that staggering, absolutely staggering. So obviously social media is not helping. So what do we do? How are we going to fix this? How are we going to help those people who need the help? And if I can help one person, I figured, you know what? Why can't I? Why can't I get this model out there to make it affordable for people to come together to create a community of healing bodies, bringing healing and abundance of goodness into the world, which is, I believe, what we need. And so that is the importance of why we need to learn more of the connection between the nervous system regulation, which is going to help with our spiritual growth. So, you may have heard the term. How many have heard that we are spiritual beings having a human experience? How many of you have heard this before? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we are more than who we think we are. We look into the mirror, we see a body, but we're not just the body, folks. We're more than that. We're more than that. And there's a higher force at play here. And my goodness, when we tap into that, we can shine like the sun, we can beam like the sunlight. It is the most beautiful feeling of all. It is the most liberating feeling of all when we allow ourselves to tap into that space where we're not having to play the victim, when we're not having to point fingers, when we acknowledge, when we recognize that part of us. And it's done in the form of stillness. And this is where I hope to guide my clients in. In a moment, I'll be sharing that with you using the sound bowls. And this is where I hope to guide my clients in that state, is when we find the strength in the stillness. The strength comes from the stillness. It's so beautiful, and I cannot wait to share that with you. So it's all about understanding how we can connect the nervous system and therefore create spiritual growth. This is where healing happens. This is where healing happens. And it all comes from, why can't I go? Now, I absolutely love this. I wanted to add this in here because I think it was quite appropriate to what we're talking about, what I'm talking about, and what I'm sharing. Music is the movement of sound to reach the soul for the education of its virtue. Music moves through sound to touch our soul and awaken the best parts of who we are. And why does this matter? Well, it's essential. It's essential for developing not only just entertainment for entertainment purposes, but it also helps us remind us that sound or music can help us heal, transforming us and guiding us on that beautiful path to greater good, whether it be spirituality, whether it might be stepping to a better version of yourself. So it's quite powerful. And how many of you have seen this? Quick show on the chat box. How many of you have seen this before? This is the Hawkins scale of consciousness. Yeah, that's fine, Shen. The Hawkins scale of consciousness, this is also known as the map of consciousness. It was developed by Dr. David Hawkins, who was a psychiatrist, a spiritual teacher, and author of Power versus Force. So this is basically a scale from 0 to 1,000 that categorizes human states of consciousness. Oh, thanks, Charlotte. Thanks, Gosh. Yeah, thanks Fuson. So this is basically a map of the human states of consciousness based on energy, frequency, or vibration that they emit. So this scale suggests that everything has a measurable frequency, and that emotions, thoughts, and states of being vibrate at different levels. And you can see there the tipping point is 200. So anything greater than 200, so you can see there anything greater than 200, you're moving towards that enlightenment state of consciousness. So this is why it's really important that we are aware of where we put our energy, where we put our, what sort of frequency are we allowing around this body. So remember that we did that exercise at the start. We rubbed our hands and we got to feel what energy felt like just by tuning into our hands. So the question is, what type of frequency are you allowing to enter your energy field? And does this energy field have a good impact or a bad impact? Because if it's something that does not resonate within the body, that's when we can fall victim to circumstances that might not bring harmony into our state, which in turn will impact our well-being. And I have been there before. How many of you have been there before, where you've surrounded yourself with people who you didn't resonate with, but yet you went ahead with it anyway? And or it may be music that you listened to that you didn't resonate with and you didn't enjoy it. This is what we're talking about. We need to be mindful and conscious of what frequency, of what energy we're allowing into our energy state. Again, what we felt in our hands is not just in our hands, it's all over our body. How many of you have noticed when you meet somebody and they're just glowing, right? From the inside out, they're just shining like this beautiful, like a shining ball of light, right? They have this beautiful aura about them, the beautiful energy about them. And I've met a few people like that myself, and when I got to know them, they are either healers or shamans or somebody who's, have done some sort of energetic work and very aware and familiar of this sort of work. So really important to I just want to invite you to start thinking about the energy and frequency that you are tuning into, or you might be recognizing something that is not resonating with you that you might just want to park and put aside. And that's why I wanted to add this note in this beautiful quote by Albert Einstein that everything is energy and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy, this is physics. I've put this in twice just to really bring that message home, that everything is energy. And whether that might be energy in the form of healing from illness, from disease, from stepping into your greater self, from creating the life that you want to live, it's all about energy. And I can safely say that because of this knowledge and the practice over the years, I've been able to create that reality that I saw for myself. When I was unwell with the diagnosis of autoimmune, I knew that I was going to free myself from that. I knew that I was going to put my back in ease from dis-ease to bring myself back into balance. And I didn't care how long that took. It took 10 months, but it was worth it. For sure, energy of others has an effect on individuals, something to be aware of in yourself. Thank you so much, Deb. Absolutely, absolutely. So we need to be mindful of what that feels like, how that looks like. And these are the things that I'm going to be sharing in the Healing Hub more and more, and educating people on how to be more mindful of what that looks like and how that feels like. I also wanted to throw this in here too because I think it's extremely valid. The Journey of Healing, the Dr. Masaru Emoto. How many of you have heard of this doctor's work? Yes. I have his book. Isn't it fascinating, Kim. The more I read about it, it's like the more I want to know. For over 20 years, they did this study. He studied the scientific evidence of how the molecular structure in water transforms when it is exposed to human words, thoughts, sounds, and intentions. Right? Think about that. How many of you are waking up every morning with the intention that you're going to have a great day? Be honest. How many of you are waking up every morning with the intention that you're going to have a great day? Deb, you do. Yes, yes, yes. Good, Fusen. Yes, good, 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 good. Very good. Not every day, but I do it more and more. Thank you, Gosia. Thank you, Da. And I get it, right? Sometimes, especially now, learning to do it often. Awesome work, Shanae. Awesome work. And I get it sometimes, like on the Gold Coast the other day, it was 6 degrees on the Gold Coast. Never heard of in my books, never heard of. So I didn't move to the Gold Coast to experience 6 degrees in winter. But anyway, I had to overcome that very quickly in order to get over that yucky feeling I was experiencing at the time. But I just put some music on. That's a good way to get out, to change your state at an instant. Set a tune that uplifts you, put some music on, some tunes on, boom, you're out of there. So yeah, very interesting. Have a look at the different molecular structures. Look at thank you compared to the words you make me sick. So on the bottom left, have a look at the difference there. Look at the difference in the structures there compared to evil. And then look at wisdom, look at truth, look at the shapes. And how beautiful does I love you look like? Look at peace. Have a look at you full. And here's the important thing, folks. We are what, 60-70% made out of water? Like we are 70% water. And so if this study has made such an impact on water alone, can you imagine the words that we're using, what impact that's having to our body, to our cells? So again, it reminds us, what are we telling ourselves? What are we hearing? That's also playing a key role. So what are we hearing? What are we allowing into this field, into this beautiful body? So another reminder of just how important thoughts are, sound is, frequency is, and what we're paying attention to. I really love this quote that I had to throw in. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. I absolutely love this because it reflects the essence of interconnectedness of energy, sound, and the fabric of reality, of how we create our future. And as someone wise once said, you may not be able to predict the future, but you can certainly create it. So create a way, I say to all my people that I know. So you might say, so what is about this Healing Hub? Well, my friends, the Healing Hub is a sanctuary. It's a sanctuary for bringing a community of like-minded people for calm, clarity, conscious growth. It's an online platform, which means that anybody can log in at any place at any time. I'm going to be offering meditation, sound bath classes and every week, as well as monthly gatherings, Q&A sessions, but also have guest speakers as well who will be sharing their journey from health and wellness. It might be from disease to ease, and just people who are in the healing environment, whether it might be doctors who have healed themselves or who have healed others. I believe that if we come together in the essence of harmony, we're going to create healing. And when we do this in a group environment, my goodness, we are just going to shine so bright, so high, and vibrate at a level that's going to be nothing but contagious. And people are going to notice, and they're going to be probably asking you, oh, what did you take today? What did you have today? What are you on? That kind of thing. So that's my hope, and that's my goal, is bringing a community of like-minded people together who are open to offerings of meditation, sound bath, healing. And this is where I'll be doing some monthly Q&As as well. There'll be monthly themes as well. So monthly themes to focus on, whether 1 month might be on letting go. These are all going to be based on on psychology. So might be on letting go, maybe on control. How do we control things that are in our control? How do we let go of things that are not? And just giving some structure around what that looks like. So these are going to be themed through every month. Will be a different theme. And that's pretty much it. And it is basically, this is probably a bit better idea of what it all includes. So live and on-demand classes. At the moment, I'm thinking 1 live class per week, which incorporates a sound bath, and then, as I said, the 90-minute Q&A with healing circles, special guest speakers, access to class recordings, including sound baths, education on movement, self-massaging techniques, psychoeducation, private online support groups. So this has just become my pride and joy. So there's a few other resources there, from downloadable material, journals, workshops, membership discounts on premium workshops, and private sessions, and ongoing journaling for self-care. So it's all for people who's ready to reset, who's ready to feel grounded and grow within their spiritual being. And we're going to be doing this month by month, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So as a founding member, I'm offering a really great discount as a founding member, and it is, that's pretty much what it is. As a founding member, it's only $25 a month, which is what, $6-7. It's less than a week, which is less than a coffee. So that's what I'm offering people at the moment who are interested in coming on board, a foundational membership offer, which is valued at $49. So that will be an offer that I will be extending until the end of June. So I'll be chatting to you more about that if you are all interested in getting on board and starting to jump into a platform that offers live healing, as I said. So I will be there live. It's not, even though you'll have access to recordings, I will be running the initial classes virtually live. So that's what that's all about, my friends. And finally, I want to hear from you. So feel free to unmute yourself. And if you have any questions, if you would like me to explain anything in detail, if there's anything at all, this is your chance to ask any questions, any clarifications, or anything like that. Does anybody have any questions or anything they would like me to clarify? No? No questions?
Sheb, I'm not familiar with the sound bowls. Can you explain that, please?
Yes, I can certainly explain what that is. So I have behind me, which you'll see. So when I go and do some sound bath, I'm going to be showing you what. So how many of you here actually haven't had a sound bath before? Anybody here hasn't had a sound bath? No? Okay. So anyway, what this sound baths are, what the crystal bowl. So I have Tibetan bowls and I have crystal bowls. So each bowl has a different frequency. Now these frequencies some of these frequencies will refer or relate back to a certain part of the body. Now, without going into too much detail, Charlotte, or trying to cause any confusion, we have energy systems into the body. Often they are referred as the chakras. Now, each of these chakras have an energy system through the body, and the crystal bowls, which I will be playing for you in a moment, will resonate to that part. So, for example, you might have, there may be a block in some of the energy centers. It might be the sacrum, it might be the heart, it might be the throat, and I'll give you an example. My throat chakra at the time was blocked. At the time it was blocked when I was diagnosed with that autoimmune disease in 2015 because I wasn't speaking my truth. So I had, that is a metaphysical explanation of the disease that I had way back then. So when I did some inner healing, the message was that this was blocked. My chakra here was blocked, and it was no wonder, because when I did all of this work, all I felt was just energy that was being released from this area here. I wasn't speaking my truth. And so when I decided that that's what I would be doing, speaking my truth and sharing this knowledge with as many people as possible, letting people know that healing is possible and that we all have our healing abilities. This is when all of this unfolded. So every bowl has a certain level of frequency, which you will feel at certain parts of the body. So it's not uncommon if I play one sound and you feel it in one place of the body, and if I play another sound and you might feel some shift or some changes in another part of the body. It's not uncommon. So I'm not sure if that helps at all, Charlotte, because it is truly something that needs to be felt. And I'm going to play them for you in a moment and demonstrate what that looks like for you and how that feels like. So I really hope you all have headphones, because you're going to get a better, yes, that's okay, beautiful, Charlotte. Thank you. So if you have headphones, I'm going to invite you to place them in your ears. If you got them, great. If you haven't, I recommend going and getting them. Getting those headphones so that you can listen to the beautiful sounds of the crystal bowl. And here's where I get you to experience amazing experience. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you so much. If there are no further questions, I'm going to invite you all now into a comfortable position to experience these beautiful crystal bowls. And hopefully you're in a space where you are not going to be distracted or disturbed. Hopefully you don't have anything in the oven or on the stove, and that you're all safe and that you are nice and comfortable in a comfortable position. So very good. Everyone's got their headphones in their ear. Fantastic. I'm now going to shift gears and move myself, and there they are, Charlotte. That's what they look like. So I've got 7, 8, 9 of them at the moment. So 9 crystal bowls, and I'm going to be having the honor of playing them for you now. Alrighty. So I'm just going to check. Where am I? Can you see me? Yes, okay. All right, so I'm taking my microphone with me attached, so hopefully you can all hear me. You can all hear me still. So, Kim, can you just give me a thumbs up to let me know you can still hear me? Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, folks. So, if you're in a nice, comfortable position now, let's all just take a deep breath in. Deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just allow yourself to be here. Relaxing letting go, allowing yourself to be here in this space. And there's no one needing anything from you right now. And there's no one wanting anything from you. You can let go of any thoughts, of all things that no longer serve you now. And I invite you to listen, to feel the sound of the crystal bowls. You might notice your mind begin to wander. That's okay. You can bring that focus back to your breath. Breathing in relaxation and letting go of any stress or any tension. Breathe. And allow the sound of the healing bowls travel to and through you. Notice what you're noticing. Notice what you are not. breathing in that sense of stillness as you allow the sound of the healing crystal bowls travel to and through you. If you notice your mind begins to wander, you can bring that focus back to your breath. Enjoy the peace, the stillness, the healing. Feel the feeling of calmness into the trillions of cells in your body. Creating oneness. Breathing in, breathing out, connecting with your breath, reconnecting with yourself. And finding that stillness within. Notice what that feels and what that looks like. And you can choose to carry that feeling with you for the rest of the evening. And into the following day, and maybe for the rest of the week. Gradually bringing yourself now back into the body, back into the space, reconnecting. Begin to move your fingers, your toes, and maybe have a stretch. Just gradually bringing yourself now back, feeling more rejuvenated, maybe ready for bed. And I'd love to hear from you all and hear how your experience and what that experience was like for you. Have I got everyone back?
I've got too much to type, so I'm just going to quickly pop on unmute. That was amazing, Sheb.
You like that?
Yeah, I had my yoga mat out
Yeah.
and was just obviously in a comfortable and safe place. And that
Yes.
was a really interesting, unique journey. So thank you. I'm very intrigued.
Oh, you're very
Yeah, that's so
welcome.
good.
You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for being open to it.
Yeah, wow. Yep, very cool.
I'm just trying to find where my video's gone. There we go. No, I really appreciate that comment, Charlotte. Thank you so much for being open to the experience, and thank you for sharing that. Hopefully, this is one of many experiences that you'll get to experience. And oh, thank you, Kim. Red root chakra. Oh, wow. Yeah. You're very welcome, Goshia. Very welcome. Got goosebumps on the red root chakra and coffee. Wow. Thank you, Catherine. Exquisite peace, occasional shimmer. Nice. Thank you, Fusen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Deb, thanks. Sheb, sound bowls were great. Oh, you're very welcome. I would love to hear. I mean, was this anyone's first virtual sound bath? Yes, Deb. First virtual sound bath. Yeah. Yes, and yours as well. Excellent. Fusion says yes. Catherine says yes. Okay. I would love to know the difference for you versus having a face to face. Was there any difference there that you noticed, Deb? Apart from the fact that I wasn't there physically, but
Yeah, hi. Apart from the fact that you weren't there physically, for me, it took a little bit longer to get into than being in a physical place with someone doing the same thing or similar sound bathing. But no, it was good. And I think virtually you need to, for me, I needed to adjust the sound of the headsets and that. Yeah,
got it.
yeah.
Yeah,
But it
beautiful.
was great. Thank you.
Thank you. Catherine said, no difference. You were very present. Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Catherine. Well, is there anybody else that would like to add anything or any questions or anything else that you would like to share before I let you all go and snuggle up into your bed and have your sweet dreams? No? In that case, I want to thank you all again for being here, for allowing me to share with you the sound of the crystal bowls and what I'm hoping to get out there, what my goal is to get out there with the Healing Hub. Oh, Kim, when present for a sound bath, find your skin feels more the vibrational waves. Yes, all good. Thank you so much. Oh, beautiful, Kim. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm really excited for you all to be here. And thank you again for taking the time to be here and share the magic. Thank you for your feedback. And I look forward to connecting with you all at some point very soon. So thank you. Thank you, Ziad. Thanks very much. Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
Sheb.
Have
Good
an
night.
amazing evening. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.
Bye.